What's going on, guys? Steven from the Minute Masters here, and today I'm going to show you how to cut a trap door in the bed of your truck so you can access your fuel pump whenever you want. So guys, first things first, if you have a plastic bed liner like that one, you'll have to remove it unless you want to have a trap door through that too as well. Take it off, clean out the bed of your truck. Mine had a bunch of sand and stuff underneath of it. I bought it used. And then what you want to do is you want to start figuring out where you got to cut. So you'll have to go underneath the truck and do some measuring. Now I just did some rough measuring and I just counted over these raised portions. And then what I did is I actually did a measure from this from the back of the truck. I did 18 inches here, and then I did 11 inches here, and then used these humps to count out the size. That's roughly the size of the hole you want. Your fuel pump is pretty much a round circle like this. Some may go straight in. Mine's kind of like a weird zigzag shape. But error on the side of having a decent size one, because you'll have to kind of finagle the pump in there. So for this, you're going to need your angle grinder and some safety glasses and whatever else you need to do your measurements. Also, to prevent the angle grinder from cutting into your fuel hoses or your tank, I took a piece of sheetrock, drywall, and I put it right underneath the bed of the truck there, so when I dip that angle grinder blade in, it's only going to hit the sheetrock. It's not going to go any farther. You can use plywood or whatever is available to you. But, well, I'm going to get cutting. So I've got my hole cut open for my hatch, and it's looking pretty good. So here we are. Like I said, I can access my fuel pump, fuel lines. The electric can be accessed from underneath. And so the next step is to disconnect the electric, disconnect the lines, turn the lock ring, pull the pump out, put the new one in, connect the lines, and then start working on the electric. As you can see, this is a perfect hole to access here. And if you're wondering why I'm changing my fuel pump, other than it's dead, you can actually see the gasoline's been leaking right here underneath the lock ring. So, well, I'm going to get to it. First things first, disconnect your fuel pump. Now, if you have a truck, you need to discharge the fuel, so you need to take the emergency valve. And so there we are, we're disconnected. So no power is getting to the pump. But prior to doing that, you want to run all of the fuel out of the lines so that when you pull those off, they don't squirt anywhere. But since my pump doesn't work, can't exactly do that. So I'm expecting some of the gasoline to be squirting out once I disconnect them. Okay, so we're going to disconnect the fuel lines. So what you want to do is pull this off. Comes right off. And then what you need is you get your fuel line disconnect tools. This is basically what they look like. Most of your auto parts stores. You can get like cheaper plastic ones if you're not planning on keeping them this long. But if you have a Ford or GM vehicle, it's good to own them. So what you're going to do is you spread them apart, put them in, and then you'll be able to like I said, the fuel would come out, so I'm just going to try to keep that up. So that's one off. I'll get the other side, and we'll pull the pump. Okay, so both lines disconnected. Power off. Next thing, I've already loosened this up, but you'll have to use a brass, like punch and a hammer to loosen the lock ring. And a little twist, and then out comes the pump. Now this is another reason I'm doing the trap door, is my fuel tank is completely full and of fuel, yes, and well, having to drain it would just be annoying. So plus it'd be neat. Like I said, you can access your fuel pump whenever you want to. And with these Fords, you will access them because they do have problems. Like this float, I've already taken this off and soldered the joints closed because it was getting fuel in there and it was sinking it, so it was always reading low. So that's our fuel pump. Like I said, it's kind of like the zigzag pattern. Yeah, there's still a lot of fuel in it. And got my other one in the box there. We'll stick it in. So here's my new fuel pump, the new and improved float, and my new lock ring seal. Now this one comes with a different electrical connecting end, but luckily it comes with another one, so I have to do some wiring. They do come with crimp connectors, but as most of you know, that is not a great way to do on a vehicle because they do eventually come apart. So that's why I have my solder and stuff like that. But I'm going to pull off our old O-ring. As you see here at the bottom, there's all this nastiness, so it wasn't making contact, so that's where it wasn't getting a perfect seal. So still looks pretty good, so I'll hold on to it just in case I ever need it. But regardless, we'll put the new one in with the new lock ring. Alright, I'm going to get to it. So I cleaned off the area around the where the lock ring has to go, put the rubber gasket, just finagled the fuel pump in. You kind of have to angle it in, so you have to put the float in first, and then the bottom, and then it just goes right in. Now you guys have a lot easier go to this because you won't be holding the camera, but that's pretty much it. So just like the other one, face those two here. It's essentially in. Lock ring. Now the electric. So there's all these contact edges, so you just have to line them up and turn. And then if you want to further tighten it, you just take your brass punch and you tap it and it'll lock it in. So that's our fuel pump in. I'll hook up everything and then I'll get back to how we're going to close this up. So there's the finished trapdoor. Undercoated, access to fuel pump, hinges, just pieces of steel, self-tapping screws. Yeah, I had only yellow spray paint available, but hey, compliments yellow, or compliments the purple. So yeah, that's how you put a trapdoor in a truck, so you can access your fuel pump. So, you know, if it tends to quit on you often, you can get at it whenever you want. So, well, this is the Minute Masters. We'll see you guys around.